edition of Waggoners Walk. All right, be like that.
Oh, sorry, Cressy.
I expect to be cut dead by Maurice, but not my brother, too.
I was miles away.
You were, weren't you? I'm just delivering my film reviews.
Cressy?
Yes?
Before you go, may I ask you something?
Since when did you need permission?
Does anything strike you about me?
Eh?
But do I seem different in any way from the last time you saw me?
No.
Oh. Are you sure?
You've got new glasses.
No, I haven't.
What then?
No, it doesn't matter.
Oh, it clearly does, or you wouldn't be going on about it. Tell me.
Well, promise me you won't send me
Oh,
out.
for heaven's sake, Dickon.
You know what we were talking about the other day?
Me and Maurice?
No, the other thing.
Oh, you and your sex life. Shh. Oh, or lack of it.
Well, I took your advice, in a manner of speaking.
Oh, so it's the new fulfilled Dickon Firth we're looking at.
You said you wouldn't take the mickey.
Sorry. Who was it?
Girl at a party?
One night stand?
Yes. Not that it wasn't good, on a purely physical level.
So you've no longer any doubt about being hetero?
Don't worry. I shan't be joining the Hill Farmers League now.
The what?
Well, there's this shortage of women in Welsh hill farming communities. The ideal alternative to becoming a monk. I did think of it at one time.
Dickon.
I'd really got hung up, but not anymore.
Perhaps I should volunteer for a bit of hill farming.
You still haven't made it up with Maurice.
I told you, the move must come from him. If I give way now, he'll walk all over me.
I'm returning these books, and I'd like to renew this one, please.
Certainly.
Miss Warner? Oh, hello, Miss Gough. Thought it was you.
I did put my head round the door of the reference library, but you weren't there. How are you?
Much as I was when you last saw me. But I did want to get in touch with you.
Oh?
There's something I wanted to talk to you about in connection with that article you did.
Well, it's my lunch hour now. Would you be free to join me?
Why not cut your throat, Maurice, and have done with it?
Hello, Shirley. Me at that.
And then where will we be for an editor?
Oh, perhaps you'd better prize the razor from my hand, then.
Is that what you're down about? The editorship?
Partly.
Well, for what it's worth, the advertising department's got 10-1 on you.
That's encouraging.
He wouldn't choose Liz Warner, Maurice. She's a nice lady and all that.
Very nice.
But she's got next to no experience on the news side. And from what I hear, Milton Monk's a noted male chauvinist. He wouldn't want a woman editor.
No, it's not her I'm worried about. I don't think she's got hope in hell. But Bruce Ferris has applied.
Should I know him?
Ex-Chronicle. Quite a name in Fleet Street. And Milton likes a name.
I wouldn't worry. Doug said Milton Monk as good as promised you that if Mike left, you'd get the job.
Milton's promises aren't always that reliable.
When will you hear, Maurice?
Oh, God knows. Can't be much longer, though. Mike's found a buyer for the house.
Yes.
So he won't want to be hanging about.
I wish I knew who they were.
But doubtless Milton will keep us all biting our nails as long as possible. He must be in his element.
Well, there's no need for you to bite your nails now, anyway. Drink your beer. Relax.
Aye.
How are things with you and Cressida?
I thought you said relax.
You haven't gone back, then?
Well, does it look as though I have?
Don't you want to?
Of course I want to.
Then why not tell her that?
Oh, no.
Maurice.
She told me to get out in the first place, right?
Only because you were having a row?
Okay, if she wants me back, she can come and ask me. I'm not crawling to her. Especially after what happened last week.
What was that?
Well, I went round to collect a couple of shirts I'd left, and...
To collect a couple of shirts you'd left.
All right. I hope we might talk. That she might apologise and...
She might.
Well, we both might, then.
So what did happen?
She threw them out the window. 2 good shirts.
No.
Just because she's made of money.
And that's the trouble.
What is?
Her money.
No. It's her whole attitude. Ugh. Why did I have to fall for a lady like that?
But you did.
Aye. Hook, line and sinker. I saw her earlier at the paper, talking to Dickon. Good morning, Maurice, she said, with that cut glass look. Oh, and I thought my knees were going to give way.
What did you say?
I just nodded. I wanted to take hold of her and... women. Do you give Cliff a rough time?
He'd probably say yes.
I bet you'd back him up if he put in for editor.
I'll uncork the champagne when he puts in for carpenter's mate.
Oh, well, there you are. You care. You're involved. I don't think she even wants me to get the job.
Now you're just being stupid.
I'll show her I'm worth something. If only she didn't make me feel such a balloon. If only I weren't so crazy about her.
I'm sure she is about you, Maurice.
Well, she's got a funny way of showing it.
This isn't a very exciting place, but at least there's no dreadful music. One can hear oneself speak. It does make a change. So did Rose on Toast. Better than my usual beer and a sandwich. Rose on Toast used to be a favourite of Father's. Of course, Mother always wanted exotic foods, like smoked octopus. What was it you wanted to talk about? Firstly, I read your article the other week and I still liked it. Good. I'm delighted. Yes, I stand by everything I said about my parents. It was a great success from the reader's point of view, but not from my sister. She's been in touch with you? I had a very neurotic communication from her the other day. She said she knew the Herald's proprietor personally and that the paper would be publishing a letter from her refuting everything I've said. Well, it won't be. My sister won't be very pleased. She agreed to withdraw the letter after a little persuasion. From you. We had a talk, yes. You are a remarkable woman, Miss Warner. You deserve to get Mr. Nash's job. How did you know about that? Mrs. Austin said you were in the running. Oh, of course. Diana's a neighbour of yours. I hope she hasn't been telling too many people. I brought the subject up. She wouldn't have mentioned it. Anyway, I wish you luck. Thanks. But I've already blown my chances. Milton Monk as good as said so to Mike Nash this morning. Because of my sister? Oh, only indirectly. I went behind his back when I asked her to change her mind. Surely it was better for all concerned that the matter was dropped. Milton might have seen it that way, but he didn't. It was only ever a long shot anyway, the editorship. There is an heir apparent, you see. Typical of Sylvia misusing her influence. Why did she have to get onto him in the first place? Her quarrel was with me. I think she honestly felt that your mother needed defending. What about Father? When did she ever think about him? When did he ever think about her, though? Sylvia didn't need him. She was Mother's darling. And you were his? Only because Mother didn't have any time for me. Perhaps from your sister's point of view, it didn't seem like that. Vice versa, in fact. You did have a talk, didn't you? Well, it wasn't anything she said, or even wrote in the letter. But somewhere between the lines, I started to see this other little girl, always on show, envying you the security of home and father. You'll be suggesting next we get in touch and have a drink together. It wouldn't be such a bad idea. I thought you were a realist, Miss Warner, not a sentimentalist. I am a realist. It seems to me ridiculous. Here you both are. One filling her life with committees and the other living like a hermit. I'm quite happy as I am, thank you. Are you? I have my job. You retire next year, don't you? And this is the very time you and your sister could help each other, instead of standing in your parents' shadow. Why not send her a note thanking her for withdrawing the letter? And she rings up and asks me round, and all our differences are forgotten over tea, and we walk hand in hand towards the sunset of our lives. I'm not that unrealistic. I have always disliked my sister cordially. Couldn't you try to make contact, at least? I'd better be getting back to the library. Shall we have the bill?
Are you, Dickon? Yes. You're back early? Decided to pack it in for the day. Wasn't feeling at my brightest.
You do look a bit rough.
Night after the night before.
Yeah, that party sounded pretty lively.
Oh, you heard us?
The whole neighbourhood heard you. Want a cup of tea?
Ah, thanks. Don't notice the noise when you're a part of it.
How very true.
Police broke it up in the end. I was scared stiff.
Yeah, I know. I arrived there the same time as they did.
Yes, you said. I was a bit tied up.
I didn't come in. I brought Debbie back here for coffee.
Oh, that's where she was.
She was in a bit of a state.
And she was earlier, too, when I first got to the party. Weepy and that baby, I suppose. I sat with her for a while,
She said.
until she fell asleep, and then I went and joined the party. Seemed all right later, though. Her usual aggressive self. Matter of fact, it was a bit embarrassing. She barged in on me when I was with this girl. Did she say anything about that?
She said you were having a good time, yeah.
Well, I was, too. Nothing heavy, you know.
China or Indian?
No, she was English.
Tea, Dummkopf.
Oh, sorry. China, please. Rob?
Yeah?
Would you mind if I brought the odd girl back here? Now and then?
Why on earth should I?
I
Look, Dickon, I thought we got this whole thing sorted out. We go our own ways. Who you invite here is entirely your business.
I thought it might be a bit awkward, that's all.
It's you that's making it awkward, mate. Thank God I'm not as obsessed by my sexual leanings as everyone else seems to be.
Sorry.
Sophie's just as bad.
Perhaps you'd rather I got out.
Well, I would if you're going to make an issue of it all the time. But it seems crazy. You need a place. I need someone to share the rent. We get along, by and large.
Yeah.
Flat's big enough for us not to get in each other's way.
True.
So why rock the boat?
I suppose it's all academic anyway. Till we know who the new owners are, they may sling us out.
Or put the rent up to some exorbitant price.
Yeah.
Let's face it, the Nashes don't exactly overcharge.
Sale's definitely going through, is it?
Subject to survey. The bloke was in today.
Don't imagine there'll be any snag there. I'd say the house was in pretty good nick, don't you?
But what did he actually say, Claire?
Nothing. He just kept frowning and shaking his head.
But he must have said something.
He asked the occasional question, like, when did we last have the pointing done?
Oh.
And did I know about the damp in the dining room?
Well, it's only a small patch, isn't it?
Not judging by the copious notes he was writing in his little black book. I certainly didn't get the impression that he'd give us a glowing report.
But we had a pretty good survey done when we came here.
That was 10 years ago. I knew we shouldn't have had that champagne until it was all signed and sealed.
Why can nothing be straightforward? Milton's still holding back on his decision about my successor. So everyone at the Herald's feeling insecure and edgy.
Do you think Liz still has a chance?
Well, not from the way he was sounding off about her this morning. She's still on his shortlist, though. Plus Maurice and an outside applicant, a chap called Bruce Ferris.
I know that name.
Oh, well, he's worked on some good papers. Only thing against him is his age. He's a couple of years older than me.
Poor old man.
Yeah. Well, you know what the current attitude is? Youth equals trendy equals desirable. No one over 40 can possibly do anything new.
You seem to be doing quite a lot these days.
I don't think a weekly magazine and a move to Bath would strike anyone as a madly radical step. Probably sounds more like being put out the grass.
But we know different.
Yes. Good grief.
What?
Who do we know with a white Porsche?
I wonder.
It's pulling up outside.
A little bird told me that Rocky Rowlands had treated himself to one of those recently.
You're right. It is Rocky. What on earth does he want?
Hey, Debbie, wait for me.
What do you want?
I was just on my way over to the delicatessen.
Going back for more, are you?
Pardon?
Well, hard luck. She's pushed off home.
It was you I wanted to see. Find out how you're feeling today.
Well, I'm not seeable. I'm going down the Herald, drop something in for Liz.
Well, couldn't I take it in tomorrow? Save you?
No.
I'll walk down with you then.
Save your energy for your sex life.
I suppose I'm going to get digs about that forever now, am I?
No, I'm delighted you got going at last. About time.
But Debbie!
And I was dead chuffed to get a grandstand view.
Well, if you must barge in on people...
How was I to know you were in there on the go?
Do you have to be so crude?
Oh, I'm sorry. Was it a meaningful experience? Would have to be with you, wouldn't it?
It's none of your business.
You even have to intellectualize a quick dip at a party, don't you? Is it all going into your novel?
Why don't you... Go and fight your father.
Bit difficult in my condition. Help.
Can no one but me answer the phone? I am trying to get ready. Ashton and Price, hello.
Is that you, Lynn?
Mother.
Oh, it doesn't sound like you.
Look, I'm sorry, but I'm in a bit of a rush. Can I phone you later? I really should have left for work.
I thought you went to the restaurant every other evening.
Not at the moment.
everything's all right, is it?
Yes, Mother.
And Jeremy, how's he?
He's fine.
His half-term does start this Friday, doesn't it?
Oh, Lord.
I wrote it in my diary, but I thought I'd better check. You are still coming down, aren't you?
What?
To Maidenhead for his half-term? Oh, you haven't forgotten me.
Yes, I'm afraid I had.
Oh, really?
Well, I do have other things on my plate. Well, don't worry. I'm sure he'd love to come.
Brad would be very disappointed if he didn't. And what about you?
No, well, I shan't be able to leave the restaurant.
You've got that young manager chap.
I can't leave it all to Rob.
Well, can't Matt help out, or Alexis?
Alexis has broken a leg.
How inconvenient. Well, that nice Mr. Ashton then?
No, Mother, none of them. The restaurant and freezer plant are operating entirely separately now, and I am not asking any favors.
You and Matt have quarreled, haven't you?
We merely agreed to run our businesses independently.
But then you need the freezer plant for your supplies.
We're managing without it.
And don't you and Matt share the same chef, Andre?
Not anymore.
Oh, why are you being so foolish?
Matt's the one who's being foolish, taking on that order of Brad's when he's not equipped to handle it.
I see. So it's Bradley's fault.
I didn't say that.
Well, it's what you were implying. He tries to give you a helping hand, and this is the thanks he
Oh, please, Mother, not you too.
Hi, Rob. Remember me? Rocky Rowlands.
Yes, I do.
Well, that's something. Can I come in?
No. What the hell are you doing here?
I heard from Joanna the Nashes were leaving. Stopped by to wish them well. I thought I'd say hello to you at the same time.
Hello.
Oh, don't be like that.
I'm on my way to work.
Oh, why don't you let me give you a lift? I got a beautiful car.
So have I. No thanks.
At least give me time to apologize for the way I behaved the other week. I guess I must have been a pain.
You said it.
You know my trouble? Success and money. Too much of both.
Bad luck.
It has its drawbacks. Everything's too easy. You just click your fingers, they come running.
Well, this one's running in the opposite direction.
A bit too fast, maybe.
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, why not stand still for a minute? At least listen to what I got to say.
I'm late already.
Hey, Rob. Thank you. You're entirely unattached from what I've heard.
From?
Joanna. Don't worry. Look, I asked very discreetly. She just thinks you're dedicated to your career.
I am dedicated to my career.
Well, so am I, but not to the exclusion of everything else. There's a whole scene out there, and you could be a part of it.
I'm not interested.
No strings. I promise. For God's sakes, Rob, this is one of the most exciting cities in the world. We could enjoy it together.
Goodbye, Rocky.
Okay. Will you at least let me leave my address in case you change your mind? I'll leave it anyway.
Sit down, Debbie.
As long as I'm not keeping you.
No, I'm nearly through.
And so long as I can heave myself down.
Whew. How long is it now?
It's due in 3 weeks. Sooner the better. Then back to work. Maybe I'll start smoking again.
Oh, now you stop. Don't start again, whatever you do. I'm glad you've written something for me.
Well, it might do for the woman's page. It's about the adoption bit, from the point of view of the real mother. So I cash in on my own condition.
You're definitely going through with it, then?
Well, my social worker keeps telling me not to commit myself yet. I think she has visions of me taking one look at the little bundle of joy and all my maternal instincts will well up.
I've been called a sentimentalist once today, so I shall make no comment.
I wouldn't have said you were a sentimentalist. I would have said you were a very practical person.
Well, I think it's important that people do things for the right reasons.
Oh, yeah?
For instance, it wouldn't be right if you were to give up your baby because things had depressed you. Things that could be sorted out with a bit of help.
It wouldn't be right to keep it for some vague emotional reason, like because it's all I've got. Oh, shut up, you stupid cow. Oh, don't take any notice of me. I can't seem to stop crying these days.
Oh, Debbie, love. Oh. Go on, cry. It doesn't matter. I was just as weepy when I was expecting the twins.
Last time it was Dickon who got the performance. In the middle of a party, too.
I'm sure he didn't mind.
Oh, no. He was great. You know, he held me close and sat with me when I went to sleep. Promised he'd stay. And he went and got off with some little scrubber downstairs.
And that upset you?
No! Yes. I'm all mixed up about it. There's never been anything between Dickon and me. I've never even thought of him in that way. But when I saw him with her, I just felt I'd lost him.
I say, du jour. Yeah, come in.
Hello, Rob.
Well, well, well. Hello, stranger. Well, what is it, Bill? You looking for Lynn?
No, a matter of fact, I was looking for you.
You better come in then.
Sir.
Come for a parley, have you?
Eh?
Can't offer you a pipe of peace, I'm afraid, but you're welcome to a cup of coffee.
Oh, if it's no trouble.
No trouble. Only thing that keeps me going.
What's all this about pipes of peace, then?
Well, you are kind of on the other side, aren't you?
How do you mean?
With Matt, against Lynn.
How do you make that out?
You work at the freezer plant. It's even called after you.
I'm on nobody's side. I'm piggy in the middle, as usual.
It'll have to be black, okay?
As long as it's hot.
Right. Ooh, excuse me. I was down at Spitalfields at the crack of dawn this morning.
Wonder I didn't see you.
It's a big place. And I was here till nearly 2 last night. Been missing out on my beauty sleep. There you go. 1 cup of coffee.
So, does it suit you then? The new arrangement?
You've got to be joking.
No, really.
Do you want a diplomatic answer, or shall I tell you the truth?
There's 3 million things I should be doing at the freezer plant, Rob. I haven't come here to pussyfoot around.
Okay, then the truth. The new arrangement stinks.
Why? Because you don't like working long hours?
Listen, I'll work all the hours that God sends in a good cause if it's for something. What's happening here is a disaster. We're functioning on a reduced menu, on tighter profit margins, a slower turnaround, and with impaired service.
Why is that?
Andre's not a miracle worker. It's bound to take him longer to prepare meals from fresh than it did when the stuff all came in pre-frozen. And he's not easy to work with.
No, I have to say that again.
Oh, for heaven's sake, Bill, you must know how things are. You don't need any explanations from me. Last night and the night before, we lost money, and worse than that, we lost goodwill. We didn't give the customers what they wanted, and word will get round. In no time at all, bookings will be down, and we'll... Do you know what I reckon?
Oh, what?
We go on like this, and in 3 months, this restaurant will be out of business.
Oh, bad as that, eh?
Yes, easily as bad as that.
Yeah.
Does all this really come as a surprise?
No.
So why haven't you done anything about it?
Oh. Have you heard the one about the 2 bulls?
What?
There's 2 bulls in this field. A young un and an old un, and in the next field, half a mile away, there's a herd of cows. And somebody's left the gate open. So the young bull says to the old bull, let's dash into the next field and have ourselves one of them cows. And the old one says, no, let's go over there
Slowly and have them all. Very funny.
Look, what I'm trying to say is, I know Lynn and I know Matt, and they can be both pig-headed when they choose to be, and the only thing to do is to sit and wait till the right moment, when everybody can see how things are going, and then get in there and start talking sense.
And when's that going to happen?
Soon.
The sooner the better. Because it's down to you. You know that, don't you? There's no one else can do it.
Yeah. Oh, flipping heck.
What's the matter?
You sure this is coffee?
Costa Rican. Too strong for you, is it?
It tastes like blooming oxtail soup.
Double 304?
Mrs. Nash?
Speaking.
Good morning. It's Mr. Spence here.
Oh, hello, Mr. Spence. I was half expecting to hear from you.
Oh?
Yes, is it about our prospective purchaser?
Yes, it is, as a matter of fact. We've heard from his representatives this morning.
And?
It seems he's worried about his surveyor's report.
Thought he might be.
Pardon?
I got the impression the surveyor wasn't very pleased.
Well, of course, surveyors never are. That's their job. But in this case, it seems he's gone to town.
Oh.
He's estimated that a great deal of work will need to be done to the house before it can be made habitable.
Mr. Spence, quite a lot of people are living in it quite happily now.
Yes, I do see that, of course.
So what's happened? Has he backed down?
Oh, good heavens, no. Nothing quite as radical as that. However, he has now reduced his offer for the property.
By how much?
A fair sum, I'm afraid.
How much, Mr. Spence?
Could you make a little less noise, Father, please?
I never opened my mouth.
Well, you're clicking the cards together.
Well, I'm playing patience.
Yes, I know. I just wish you could do it more quietly.
Oh. Is that better?
Not a lot.
It's gone 12, you know.
Yes, I know.
Well, you're usually collecting the twins by now.
Su Ming's giving them lunch today.
Brave woman.
And I needn't collect Abby till 12:30, all right?
I was merely trying to be helpful.
Oh, thank you.
What are you doing, anyway?
Some work for Mr. Tully.
I hope he's paying you.
He needs a helping hand, and I'm providing it.
Oh, he's lucky. It's more than you ever do for me.
I'll just ignore that, I think.
It's as much as you can do to be civil to me.
No, Father.
You've hardly said a word to me all morning.
I've been working all morning.
Oh, it's not just that. I can feel waves of hostility directed towards me.
If you can feel waves of hostility, Father, I promise you they're not towards you.
Who then?
There's Lynn, if you must know.
Oh? What's she done this time?
Oh, she's arranged for Jeremy to spend half-term with the Poolbrights in Maidenhead.
Ah.
Phone's quite casually this morning saying it's all laid on and she hopes I don't mind.
And you do, of course.
Well, of course I do. I see little enough of Jeremy these days as it is. I take it for granted he'd be coming to us at half-term.
Did you tell Lynn?
Yeah, what's to be gained? It's too late now, isn't it? I certainly let her know I wasn't over the moon about it.
When is half-term?
Next weekend.
I wish I were in his shoes.
What, Jeremy's?
Lucky little chap. Wish somebody'd invite me to Maidenhead for a weekend. Anywhere, for that matter.
Well, nobody's keeping you here, Father.
I know that.
Father!
Yes, what now?
Oh, it doesn't matter.
£10,000? But that's ridiculous.
That's what I told Mr. Spence.
Well, what did he say?
Oh, the usual. Like, high interest rates have knocked the bottom out of the market. Like, how lucky we are to have found a cash buyer. All that.
Yes.
I know it is a lot of money.
Especially when you're waving it goodbye.
Yes, but we're not, are we? Not really.
Oh, really what?
Well, we never had it, did we? Not like money in the bank. It was abstract. Part of a value set on the property.
And if we never had it, we can't miss it?
Yes.
Do I gather then from this splendid piece of positive thinking that you're in favor of accepting the new offer?
Yes.
You haven't accepted it, then, have you?
Oh, of course not. I told Mr. Spence I'd discuss it with you and we'd let him know.
Well, I wish you'd rung me at the office.
On a Wednesday.
I've given our potential purchaser a piece of my mind.
Whoever he is.
Well, we know the type, don't we? Some fly guy out to make a fast buck.
By grinding his heel in the faces of the poor.
Yeah, well, a firm of property speculators who'll split the place up into a dozen pokey flats and charge the earth for them. What are you grinning at?
You sound like a letter to the Times.
Oh, well, I'm glad you can see the funny side.
Drink your scotch, and perhaps you will.
I doubt it.
There is some good news, too, actually.
Oh, what?
A letter came from the estate agents in Bath with another list of properties for us to look at. And guess what? There's one that could have been built for us. It's exactly what we're looking for.
How much?
A bit more than we were thinking of paying, but on paper it looks worth every penny. In fact, I'd like to go down to have a look at it.
What are you puffing about?
You'd be puffing and all if you just put 500 helpings of roast beef and gravy into 500 little foil containers.
You're softening up.
Oh, look who's talking.
You what?
How long is this going on for, Matt?
What?
You know what?
The complaints department's closed.
I'm not complaining. I'm asking. I had a way with Rob this morning.
Oh, he's still in the land of the living, is he? Don't see much of him these days.
Well, you wouldn't.
There was a time he used to help me.
He's working round the clock.
When did I last have a bath? Can't remember. Good thing most of my work's on the phone. My friends
Oh,
wouldn't...
belt up, will you? It's not funny, Matt. That's unless you want Priors to go bust.
Priors is Lynn's problem, not mine.
Well,
Look, Bill, all this was Lynn's idea. It's the way she wanted to have it. As soon as she changes her mind, all she's got to do is let me know.
I can see that happening.
Eh?
You wanted to grovel, is that it? Well, she won't. That's not the way she is, and you know it. She'll work herself into the ground, running the restaurant, looking after you, bringing up Jeremy, and then finally she'll buckle at the knee like she did last time, and you'll only have yourself to blame.
We're not there yet.
Oh, you cold...
Bill, this company needed to expand. The order from MacDonald Harker was the means of achieving that. Fair enough. At the moment, it means we're cracking open at the seams, and it hurts. But it's a challenge, Bill. And I like challenges. And things are going to have to get a lot worse before I start listening to sub-stories from you, right?
I'm going home.
Good night.
One thing.
Yes?
Tell Lynn as from tomorrow morning I'll do the market trip for the restaurant as well. If she'll draw up a list, I'll collect it first thing. I take it you've got no objections?
None at all.
I'm off then.
That means young Rob can help me with me bath in the morning, doesn't it?
Oh, Mike.
What?
I do wish you'd keep your elbows to yourself.
Just don't seem able to get to sleep.
I had noticed. What time is it?
I don't know, and I'm not looking. Well, Rob's in. I heard him go upstairs a while back, so it's after midnight. Were you asleep?
Of course. Fast asleep.
Well, I suppose I could go down and make us a cup of cocoa or something.
Yes. All right.
No, I don't think I'll bother. Could turn into a habit. Oh, I seem to be able to switch off tonight. My mind's going 19 to the dozen.
About the house.
Well, it's the sheer injustice of it.
I know.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with this house. Okay, so it hasn't been ultra-modernized or anything. But to knock us down by 10,000 is iniquitous. I mean, did Spence tell you what their surveyor had said actually was the matter?
We already knew some of it, didn't we? From what the surveyor said to me.
What about the rising damp and the pointing? But you can't tell me that amounts to 10,000 quid's worth.
Well, there's no point in agonizing, Mike. What are we going to do?
Well, I tell you, the first thing we're going to do is haggle.
And if he won't budge?
We'll tell him it's no deal.
If he backs out?
There are other fish in the sea.
Yeah.
You don't agree?
I don't think we should lose him, Mike, whoever he is. He's got cash. He doesn't seem to want to go for a mortgage, and he isn't part of a chain.
I know all that. I just resent being taken for a ride, that's all.
And there's this house in Bath. It does sound nice, doesn't it?
Well, smashing, yeah.
Just what we're looking for.
Okay, right.
And I honestly don't see it staying on the market for long.
Probably not.
I mean, ideally, it would be nice if I could go down tomorrow, look it over, and if I like it, make them an offer.
Tomorrow?
No point in wasting time.
What do you mean? Would you go there and back in the one day?
Why not? There's a good fast train service.
Oh. Oh, so Nicola would, well, she'd probably be only too happy to have someone ferry you around.
There's no need to bother Nicola.
Well, I'm sure she'd be delighted.
So, what are we going to do then?
Yeah. You know what?
What?
I am putty in your hands, aren't I?
Does that mean it's all systems go?
Well, it means you can go to Bath tomorrow, yeah. And it means I won't scupper the sale of this place. However, I do still intend to drive a very hard bargain.
I like you when you're being masterful.
Well, give us a kiss then.
That must have been Dickon you heard coming in before. That's Rob now. I recognise his footsteps.
Oh, never mind, Rob.
Poor boy. They do have him working all hours.
How's it going, then?
Nearly ready?
Good. Hey,
What?
clothes?
Yeah, it's pine essence.
Where'd you get that from?
I had some at home. Brought it along.
Yeah, go on. I smell like a flipping poof.
That's about it. Get your dressing gown off.
All right.
Right then. Here we go. Got hold of the rings?
All right.
Take your weight.
Yep.
That's the stuff. Now, down you go.
Oh. Sure. I had less trouble launching the QE2.
You in?
I am.
Great.
Oh, the water's lovely. Just right. You know, nobody else seems to be able to judge it right. With Bill, it's never hot enough. And with Alexis, it nearly takes your toes off. Here, pass us the sponge, would you? Oh. Oh, I've given you up for lost, you know.
I slept in. Bill did the market this morning.
So I gather. Good old Bill. Hey, you doing anything over the weekend?
Why?
Well, it's a while since we took Jeremy swimming, and
Jeremy's going away for the weekend, isn't he? Half term.
Oh, yes. Yes, I've forgotten. Down with the pool rights. Still, why don't we go without Jeremy, eh? Just you and me?
Matt, I can't.
Got other fish to fry, eh?
No.
What do you mean, no? What do you mean, you just don't want to go swimming, huh?
Not with you, no. I also want to make it clear that from now on you're going to have to manage without me for your bath.
I see.
Sorry, but that's the way it is.
You are stopping long enough to get me out of this bath, though, aren't you?
Yeah.
Well, I suppose we should be thankful for small mercies. Won't do you any good, you know, this little piece of childishness. Because I'll tell you what I said to Bill last night. What happens at Pryor's restaurant has got nothing to do with me. Lynn wanted to run it as a separate concern, and that's what she's doing. And if the going gets too rough, she's only got to tell me. And then we can develop one cohesive expansion policy for the company as a whole. And what's more, you can bloody well...
yelling at now?
Me.
Why? What did you do? He had soap in his eye.
We were talking about Pryor's.
Oh.
And in case there was any doubt, he's made it very clear that he's on Lynn's side.
I work for Lynn. I'd like to work for both of you, but it's not on at the moment, is it? As soon as there's a change...
Oh, get out, will you? And take your bloody pine essence with you. Go on, get out.
Yours too.
Cheeky git. Who the hell does he think he is, coming in here dictating terms to me? What the hell does he know about how our company works?
Who's going to get you out of the bath?
You are.
I'll get soaped.
Serves you right. What you come in for, anyway?
The chef wants a word.
What about?
He's not happy.
Well, couldn't you have dealt with it?
I offered. He said he wanted to speak to you.
Well, I'm not going to speak to him in here, am I? So pass the flaming towel.
Claire! Claire! Over here!
Oh, Nicola, hello. How lovely to see you.
You too.
I hope you haven't been waiting long.
No, the train was dead on time.
Oh, it is good to see you, Nicola. I gave Mike strict instructions not to phone you.
Why ever not?
Because you're a very busy lady, and you've got better things to do with your time than meet people off train.
Oh, I'm doing more than just meeting you off the train, Claire.
Oh?
I'm going to drive you to the house.
I wonder why it is I prefer you to Milton Monk.
I can't imagine. Don't count your chickens, though.
You don't know the house by any chance,
I know the area, and it's quite delightful. You'll love it when you see it, I'm sure.
I love it already, just from the estate agent's description.
Well, Claire, this is it.
Oh,
what do you think?
Oh, it's perfect. It's just too good to be true.
Let's make our presence known then, shall we? Will you ring or shall I?
Oh, my hands started shaking.
You mustn't get too excited. You may hate it when you get inside.
I shan't, I know. Oh, Nicola, isn't it gorgeous?
I'm green with envy already.
It's even got wisteria climbing up the wall. I've always wanted a house with wisteria climbing up the wall.
Isn't it supposed to be awfully bad for the bricks?
I don't care. Do you think we should ring again?
No, I can hear somebody coming.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Mrs. Mullins?
That's right.
My name's Mrs. Nash. I've come to view the house. This is a friend of mine, Mrs. Gould.
Oh, how do you do?
Hello.
Well, come in, please.
Thank you.
You'd better come straight through to the living room. It's this way.
It's such a pretty house, Mrs. Mullins.
Yes, it is nice, isn't it? We'll be sorry to go, but my husband's got a new job.
Have you lived here long?
11 years, and we've done quite a lot to it, as you can see. My husband's quite a handyman. Please, do sit down.
Thank you.
Thanks. You live locally, do you?
I do. Mrs. Nash is down from London.
Oh, dear. You have come a long way. Looking at lots of places, I dare say.
Oh, well, no, not really. The estate agent's been sending me their list, but this is the only house that's taken my fancy so far.
Oh, that is a pity.
Why?
Well, we've actually had a pretty good offer already. Still, it won't hurt for you to have a look around, just in case.
Tipped at the post.
Oh, Claire, I'm so sorry. And only since this morning, too. You probably missed it by minutes.
I feel sick.
I don't blame you. It's a beautiful house.
Just what we wanted. Perhaps Perhaps I should have... What? I was going to say offer them a bit over the odds, but no. There's enough of that sort of thing going on as it is. Nobody wants to be gazumped.
So, what do we do now?
I don't know. I could catch the next train home.
Okay.
On second thoughts, though, why should I go down like a lead balloon? There must be other houses in Bath. Why don't we try and find one?
All right.
If you've got time.
Yes, okay.
Right, then. We'll stop at the first estate agents we come to.
Well, you've really done it this time, you bloody fool.
What?
He's gone.
Who has?
The chef, Jonathan. Quit. Jacked it in.
Bloody wars.
What the hell did you say to him?
Quite a bit. And I didn't whisper.
Oh, God, Matt, how can you be so stupid? Don't ask me to help you with your bath. I'll bloody drown you.
I just saw red, Bill. I told him the running of this company is my job, and if he didn't like it, he could do the other thing.
Well, he has. What's up with you, Matt? That's twice you've hit the roof today.
Look, Bill, nobody runs my life for me. Nobody. Nobody says this is what you do or else.
Except maybe your partner. We do have a small problem now, though, don't we? We've no chef.
I'll ring the agency.
You'll not get another one today.
So I'll ring the other beggar, Ernie, at home. Tell him to come in.
Ask! Anyway, he'll be asleep.
I'll wake him.
And who works the night shift then? Oh, Matt, talk sense. Anyway, the job's half done already. 500 portions of roast pork sizzling away in the ovens. Still, it needs finishing off.
Can you do it?
Well, I don't know who the hell else will. With you damn near wrecking everything. Well, I'll need another pair of hands.
Then you shall have them. I'll call Alexis. I'll tell him his big moment's arrived. I'm giving him a loan of my wheelchair. Oh, and Bill. Sorry.
Double 304.
Hello, Mike.
Hello, darling. Where are you speaking from?
I'm still in Bath.
Still? Well, it's nearly 7 o'clock.
I was looking at houses till a few minutes ago.
And?
No go, I'm afraid.
Oh. Well, nothing?
Not a sausage.
Oh. Well, what about...
I haven't got another 10p. I'll tell you all about it when I get home. How about things at your end? Did you get anywhere with Mr. X?
Well, yes and no.
How do you mean?
Well, I managed to claw back 12.50, but there's a snag, because I thought we as good as had a house already. But now... Claire, I've agreed to exchange contracts in 7 days and completion in 4 weeks' time.
You can turn the light on if you want to. I'm still awake.
Oh. Well, it'll make things a little easier. Oh, that's better.
What time is it?
12-ish.
You're early.
Yes.
Right night, was it? At the restaurant.
Oh, not too bad. Not too bad at all. I was a little tired, so I left Rob to do the tidying up.
Oh, your arrangement working out okay, then, is it?
Yes, fine. There are 1 or 2 things still to be ironed out, but one expects a few teething troubles.
Does one?
In the more or less short term. I'm sure everything will turn out for the best.
You sound like the Chancellor of the Exchequer.
You asked me how things were, so I told you. How's everything with you?
All right.
Things seem to be humming as I came through.
That's how I like it.
Even Alexis was getting stuck in, working from your wheelchair. That boy has a keen sense of irony.
Yes, well, I sent Bill home early, so we needed a replacement for him.
Bill went home?
He was whacked out on his feet.
Well, Matt, you amaze me.
In which of the many ways I am aware of?
You're getting soft in your old age. Since when have you regarded physical exhaustion as a reason for going home?
Let's just say I'm beginning to realize who my friends are.
And what's that supposed to mean?
Oh, forget it.
No, Matt. You can't just say something like that and then...
I was thinking about Rob.
Oh. What about him?
He didn't tell you then?
Tell me what?
He got me into my bath this morning and then proceeded to tell me no more favors. Said he belonged on your side of the house.
He said that?
He did.
Oh, I'm sure he didn't mean it.
No, don't bother. I can manage quite nicely without Rob Pengelly, thank you very much. Bit of help from you and Bill, and I shall be just fine. That's unless you were thinking of withdrawing your favours as well.
Don't be silly, Matt.
That's okay, then. I mean, business is one thing, but bed is another.
Oh, I am tired.
Me too. Don't worry. It's all go, isn't it?
I'll turn the light out then, shall I?
Yes, I'm ready. Okay, Pep?
Fine. You?
Fine. Everything's fine. Night.
Good night.
I can't wait till this afternoon.
What's more coffee, Matt?
Wouldn't say no.
Pass Matt's cup, Jeremy, would you?
I said I can't wait till this afternoon.
Darling, you've been saying that since 7 o'clock this morning.
Since 6:30.
So we do know how you feel.
I packed all my things.
You told us that as well.
Here's the coffee, Matt.
I'll pass it.
Can you?
Of course I can.
Well, don't spill it in the saucer.
I won't.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Oh, Granny and Skip are both coming up to collect me.
No. At the last count, Skipper was coming up on his own.
Oh.
You still call him Brad Skipper?
Yep, because he's got a boat, and I'm his crew.
Well, he'll be collecting you from school.
In a Rolls?
Probably.
Oh, brilliant. Nobody else in my class has got a Rolls.
The boys are snobs.
They'll all be green with envy. Oh, rats.
What?
I've just remembered my first mate's cap.
What about it?
I've left it at Minden Road.
Oh, well, I don't suppose you'll be going on the boat anyway.
Why not?
Because it's February, darling. Not at all the weather for boats.
Sailors go out in all weathers.
Well, don't bank on it, will you? Now, if everybody's finished, I think I'll clear away.
I'm glad I'm going to Maidenhead for half term. Because everybody's so miserable here. You're miserable.
We're not.
Bill's miserable. The chef's miserable. Even Alexis is miserable. When I went in to see him, he just turned over in bed and told me to get out.
Because he was working last night.
And yesterday afternoon.
Jeremy, this first mate's cap of yours, why don't you phone your dad and see if he can dig it out for you?
Yes.
Never know, if he's got a moment, he might even drop it in here for you, and then...
Brilliant. Oh, hello, Bill.
Morning, Jeremy. Morning, all.
Just back from the market, Bill.
That's right. Already perishing. Need new gloves.
Fancy a coffee?
Not at the moment, Tara. I want a word with my partner.
I'm listening.
In private, if that's okay, Lynn.
What's up? Why all this cloak and dagger stuff?
Trouble. I assumed you wouldn't want Lynn to hear.
Go on.
It's the second chef, Ernie Young.
What about him?
He's just asked for his cards and quit.
He's what?
Sorry. As I came in, I met him on the way out. I tried to talk him round. He wouldn't listen.
Why should he do that?
He just didn't like the setup, Matt. The way things were going. He had visions of being asked to work all hours, and the prospect didn't appeal.
Well, why should he think that?
'Cause it's the norm here, isn't it? Alexis works from a wheelchair. I work till I drop. Why should things be any different for him?
Did you tell him I was phoning the agency today about getting another chef?
He wanted out, Matt, and there was nothing I could say to stop him.
You did say 5's clear, didn't you?
Yes, that's right.
There we are, £30. Won't keep you waiting long for the checkbook.
Oh, that's all right. A little bird tells me you're selling your flat at Cane House.
I sold it.
Already? Oh, that was quick, wasn't it?
Well, they are very desirable properties.
I bet.
I'm really chuffed, Claire, frankly. Looks like I'm even getting the full asking price. And I thought I might have to come down a bit for a quick sale. Only problem now is what to do with a few sticks of furniture I still have up there. Whether to put them into storage or find room for them over the shop.
You're leaving the shop, aren't you?
Yes. Well, I intended to stay. That place has many special associations for me, but I'm afraid it just isn't on.
Oh.
It's nobody's fault. I'm not blaming Mungie or anything, but in the evenings when you come home from work and put your feet up, you want a place that's your own, don't you? Where you can shut yourself away. And I'm afraid that just isn't happening.
What a shame.
The moving finger writes and having writ moves off. And you're moving to Bath?
When we find somewhere to live.
Oh, I understood you'd found somewhere already.
I'm afraid not.
I thought you were down there yesterday, clinching the deal.
That was the general idea, but somebody else got there before me.
Oh.
Which is very irritating, actually, because the people who are buying number one are insisting on completion by the end of the month. And if we haven't found somewhere by then, we'll all have to move into a hotel or bunk up with friends or something.
I see.
These things are never plain sailing, are they?
Well, could you try having a word with your purchaser? See if perhaps he or she is prepared to postpone things a little.
As a last resort, we may have to, but I doubt if it's going to cut any ice. I reckon our chap's one of the unacceptable faces of capitalism.
I see.
That's if it's a he at all. We're coming round to the view that it's some stop-at-nothing syndicate. Mike's been fighting them tooth and nail.
You do have them crossed, don't you, Claire?
Sorry?
The checks crossed.
Oh, yes, that's fine. Thank you. Well, I must be on my way. And keep your fingers crossed for us, too, won't you, George?
Couldn't you have come to collect me in the rolls, Skipper?
I could have, I guess.
Then why didn't you?
She's a nice motor, Jeremy, but she uses an awful lot of gas. Why?
Oh, nothing. I can't wait to get to Maidenhead.
Granny and me can't wait to have you there. We're going to have a great time.
Yes, brilliant. There's only one thing.
And what's that?
I wish Mummy was coming too.
She was invited.
I know. But she's too busy with your contract for all those lunches.
I thought the contract had nothing to do with Lynn. Matt's handling it on his own, separate from the restaurant. That's what Grandma says.
Well, Mummy's working all the time anyway. And when she isn't, she's cross. And Matt is.
Maybe I'll have a word when we drop by to pick up your suitcase, huh?
Can we drop by at Minden Road as well to pick up my first mate's cap? Daddy said he found it.
I don't see why not.
We are going out on the boat, aren't we?
So long as we dress up warm.
I will need my cap then, won't I?
Guess so.
I asked Daddy if he could bring it up to the old bakery, but he said he couldn't. He won't do anything these days. I expect it's because of Grandpa.
I'm more than grateful to you, George.
Huh? What for?
Sacrificing your lunch hour like this to a poor old man, as full of griefs of age.
Oh, it's no sacrifice, Arthur.
It's kind of you to say so. I hope you didn't mind my telephoning during office hours.
Not in the least. Things were quite quiet this morning.
Only I felt I had to get out of that house, away from Peter's constant disapproval.
Getting on each other's nerves again, are you?
It's Jeremy. Peter never liked the idea of my occupying the boys' room. I know that. So all he feels towards me is resentment. I do my best. I help about the house. I try to be my usual cheerful self. To no avail. I sometimes wish I were dead and out of it all.
Oh, don't talk like that, Arthur.
It would be the best solution, perhaps.
Eat your grapefruit.
It's dry. It's not ripe. I wish I'd ordered the soup now, like you. I suppose there's no chance of your taking the Cane House flat off the market, is there?
Why?
It was an excellent arrangement, especially when we were sharing. My word, George, those were happy times.
Oh, Arthur.
What?
It's sold. Confirmation came through this morning.
Oh. I might have known. I wish you'd consulted me properly before you put it up for sale. I was in the business, you know.
I did.
Everyone's in such a hurry these days. It's all now, now, now. Nobody's prepared to wait. I told you that Peter had sent away for brochures on various old people's homes, didn't I?
No.
Oh, yes.
But he wouldn't.
Oh, yes, George, believe me, he would.
Oh.
He'll have got the idea from that disreputable Jerry Tobin. But perhaps it's the best thing.
Arthur, whatever you do, you must hold on.
What for?
Because it's always darkest before the dawn, and sometimes help is just around the corner.
And every cloud is silver-lined, I suppose. Really, George, you do sometimes talk the most arrant claptrap, you know.
You mean both chefs have walked out?
Yes.
I don't believe it.
True. One thing you can be sure of, though, Brad, is you don't have to worry about that contract you gave us. That's going to be okay.
Okay, how in the name of God are you going to cook that many lunches a day if you haven't got a chef?
We're getting one. I've been on to the agency and we're getting a good one, starting from Monday.
And what about the lunches for Monday? Who's going to make those up?
I'll subcontract out.
Oh, no, you won't.
Mr. Fulbright,
You keep out of this. Now, you listen, Matt Pryor, and you listen good. I put this contract your way to help you to expand. I thought I was doing you a favor, and I thought you would grasp the opportunity with your customary efficiency and flair. Now, a few days later, Pryor's is falling to pieces. You have no chefs. Lynn is working all hours, and my wife is holding me responsible.
Well, now, listen,
I haven't finished. Now, you may not have noticed, Matt Pryor, but there's a clause in my contract excluding the use of subcontractors.
Sure, but no...
And I'm holding you to that clause.
We're talking about 1 day, 2 at the outside.
I'm going to hold you to it. Now, I suggest you put your house in order, and I suggest that you do it fast. You will provide 500 meals for Monday. If you don't, I'll finish you. Jeremy, you got 2 minutes to get in that car.
Bloody walls.
He's a bit excited, isn't he?
What the hell are we going to do, Bill?
Lynn's got a chef.
No. We can't ask Lynn.
We'll have to. Or rather, you will. As we climb down off the Waggoners Walk Omnibus, I can just remind you that, of course, the daily happenings down there in northwest London continue on Radio 2 every day through the week, Mondays to Fridays, at 5:05 in the afternoon. That's during David Simon's programme, Much More Music. And much more Waggoners Walk Omnibus next Sunday afternoon, just after 5 o'clock. And now the time, 6 o'clock.